Hello guys, so here we are with another video, and in this particular video we'll try to understand what are the factors that need to be taken into consideration while choosing a particular B school. Now the selection of B school is crucial, yeah, as this decision is going to impact our careers for the next 30 to 40 years, and mostly a once in a lifetime investment, because I'm sure it is we are not going to be making any investment towards our education beyond this, and there is no denying the fact that management education, and that too from a reputed B school, can assure us with a jump start to our careers in a corporate world and a bright future ahead. So ideally one needs to arrive at a list of 15 to 20 top B schools before actually taking up the plunge, and keeping in mind with their individual requirements and of course the budget. So some of the key factors that needs to be known, I'll be trying to enumerate in this particular presentation. So I'll just give you a brief introduction about myself. My name is Deepak Jaryal. I myself have been teaching CAT since 2006. That has given me 14 plus years of teaching experience. So the first point that you need to keep in mind is the placements. So this is one of the most important factors one need to consider while choosing a particular B school, as a good career is what one is looking forward to, right? For freshers, it's a good start to their career, and for those with work experience, it's going to be providing a career acceleration. So apart from the placement claims that are made by the B schools via a lot of advertising, paper advertising or social media advertising, or maybe on the website, it is always advisable to do some of the research by talking to the seniors or the past students or the current students. It will always help. Though the reputed colleges like IIMs and XLRIs, they don't need to advertise or brag about their placement records. So next factor that one must need to keep in mind, like specialization. So certain institutes like IIFT, IRMA, IIFM, MICA, etc., they offer specialized programs that focus on industry specific and that they try to develop the specialized skills to a career in a specific field. Hence, one must completely understand the course content and the long-term career opportunities before opting for such programs. If you don't have any specific goal in your mind at this particular stage, if you're a fresher, it is very obvious. Otherwise, then it makes sense to stick to the conventional B schools like IIMs and XLRI that cater to specializations like finance, marketing, human resources management, operations management. Thus the options open in terms of career opportunities across the industries. Next factor that I believe that need to be taken into consideration while choosing a particular B school is the student profile or the intellectual capital of the college. So it always pays to check out the faculty in the student profile, as that to a large extent determines the quality of the program and the nature of interaction and learning, right? Because for faculties, how are you going to check? How are you going to check? These are some of the things that you can check for the faculties. That factors like qualification, work experience, research undertaken, etc. For students, it would be good to check the composition of the batch of the past 2-3 years. If not 3 years, at least 2 years, you can check the batch profiles in terms of what was their academic background, I don't know what was the average age, what was the work experience, etc. So it always help you to gain what kind of peer-to-peer learning are you going to expect in the college then when you're going to get into. Next factor is infrastructure. The prime concern here is whether the program is residential or not. Of course, most of the MBA programs are residentials. So I firmly believe that MBA is not just about learning that one receives in the classroom, but the real gain is the composite exposure one gets in these 2 years. More so, B school education mainly consists of group work where students need to work as teams. So the infrastructure that is provided with the college becomes an important factor. Next factor is not so important, but it is important for this particular reason, because if there are institutes which actually have a very good infrastructure but are of not very great repute, उनके पास इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बहुत अच्छा है बट रेपुटेशन इतनी तगड़ी नहीं है, so they may lack faculty support because of the location disadvantage. Further, they might fail in giving sufficient industry exposure, which in turn might impact the placements. Now keeping this in mind, if one is applying to these kind of lower rung colleges, it makes sense sticking to the ones which are based in the metros, right? So next factor is, of course, I think this is one factor that we always keep in mind whenever we try to make an investment, right? So there are certain autonomous or the private B schools charge a very hefty fee though they might have a great infrastructure, to boast about, and it's always better to do a cost benefit analysis, right? So because always, see, there is an average, because the average fees that the most of the colleges are charging close to 15 lakhs. So expected returns also has to be in parallel to that. The returns can be evaluated by looking at the average placement figures for the past 2 to 3 years, right? So, and the placements should also be, or the returns should also be looked at, should not just be looked at from the perspective of money. It also should be looked at in terms of the profiles these kind of colleges are providing you. So that also can be, because if the initial placement is lesser, but the kind of profile that these companies are offering you, and which has great potential to grow in the future, then of course you can go. So these are the few factors that I thought, and which might help you while choosing a particular B school. So if you want to connect with me, we meet every day on Unacademy Learning, Unacademy CAT channel, Unacademy Learning app. We meet every day from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And if you want to join me on Plus, this is the code that you need to keep in mind to avail 10% off. And below mention is my Telegram ID, where you can reach out to me at any point in time. Thank you so much, guys.